All right, let's get started with some concepts here. There are specific ways in putting together investments that you can participate in different ways in those investments. Oftentimes when we're first starting out, the way I did is I kind of controlled the entire investment. These were small investments. I was buying single family houses. And so I bought the house, I owned the house, and I managed the house and the contractors that had to renovate, rehab. I managed the tenants. I did everything, right? So that's one way to do it. And that's oftentimes the way we start out in life. But as we evolve kind of up the chain, and we maybe have other interests, we may have other businesses that we're more involved in where our time is more valuable, but we still want to be on the forefront of making good investments. There's different ways to participate. So I'm going to flip over to my iPad here, and we're going to take a look at what I call participations, or in this case, the anatomy of a deal structure. So I've got four quadrants here. You can see I've got find, negotiate and close, fund, and manage. These are the four key aspects of putting a deal together. So let's break these down a little bit. And again, I'm going to go into much more of this as we go along, but I want to just give you this big framework here right now so you can understand better how you can potentially position yourself to take advantage of the real estate markets, and through the course of this next 4 weeks, understand where the deals are and how you can participate. So somebody has got to be able to find good opportunities in real estate. Somebody has to be the finder. Typically, those are people who are what I call boots on the ground. They have a business in real estate of some kind. Either they get involved in single family houses or self-storage or multifamily apartments or any different classification of real estate, but they really kind of niche in. And that's what they do. And so therefore they create a network and they do marketing and lead generation to find sellers who will sell on price or terms to make a good deal that they can then go ahead and acquire the property or properties, and then add value to them of some sort to increase the cash flow, which increases the value. And either you hold them in a portfolio for longer term, or you could, after a few years and increasing rents and valuation, then sell the property and take a profit as a long-term capital gain. But someone has to find the property. So finding a property has a value all by itself. If somebody's good at finding properties, and I'm thinking usually young people who have more time than money can learn how to do this and network and lead generate. If you can find deals for other people who know how to operate them, you've got something you bring to the table that has value. And there's different ways to get paid for that value. You can get paid a commission of some sort, like real estate agents would, or you could actually take a participation in the deal, or a combination thereof. It could be a hybrid. But finding the deal has value in it of its own. All right, what's next? Finding the deal doesn't mean the deal is done. Somebody has to negotiate and close. That's number 2 here. Negotiate and close the deal. That could be the same person who finds the deal. They could have the same skill set that would allow them to find and negotiate and close a contract, right? To get a contract at price or terms that makes sense from an investment standpoint, and then be able to take it to closing at a title company. So again, could be 2 separate people, could be the same one. But again, negotiating and closing, high value. Again, you could get paid for that at a very high level, or you could take participation in a deal if that's what you do well. Next one would be funding. This is capital. This is bringing the financing to the table, right? Every deal takes some form of financing, whether you go to the bank to get financing and you have to use some of your money to put down payment, or you use private capital to bring in funds, which again is a lot of what syndications will do, along with their institutional financing, or you can get sellers to carry back terms. And all these opportunities are going to become much more available as we go down this kind of recessionary correction in the marketplace, because we'll find, I believe, that the banks will tighten up and liquidity will become much less available. And when that happens, all kinds of opportunities will come about in terms of financing. But funding the deal, again, now for me today, that's a lot of what I do. And if you're on that third category I talked about a minute ago, about wanting just to participate passively and just take some of your capital and move it into alternatives, whether it's taxable money or your self-directed IRA, retirement account money, you can participate as a funder. And there's different ways, again, to take those participations: cash flow, growth, combination thereof. We're going to go through all this, but there's so many ways to slice and dice the opportunities in real estate and keep you safe at the same time. So that's number 3, was funding. Number 4, someone's got to manage. And many times people forget that, particularly if they're just getting started in real estate and go, "Oh, this is going to be fun. I'm going to go buy properties and I'll fix them up and but then, oh, who's going to manage the tenant and the operations, right? Now, people that are good at that, again, you can make a lot of money being a manager of properties, managing anything. You can make good money, but that's a really full scale operation. I did that myself when I was younger, in my younger years, managed a lot of my own properties, and that was fine. It was good. I was putting my time in and scaling that way. But today, I don't care to do that. My time is more valuable, and I'd rather pay other people to take some of the profit of the deal and let them manage the whole thing. And I'm out of it. But curating who those people are, the right people, is another art form and a skill set that we'll dig into during our 4 weeks here. Because if you miss that part, the right people, then all your other great intentions can go awry, and you may make some very bad mistakes in your real estate investing. So the people who's on your team, will cover all of that in detail, but I want to give you this framework this morning about participations and understanding the 4 quadrants, and that you can participate in any one of those, any 2 of those, any 3 of those, or all 4 if you want to do it all yourself. And we'll talk more about that as we go down the pipeline. So keep this framework in mind about putting together the anatomy of the deal or participations in real estate. See you on the next one.